The Glyphid Dreadnought is, it's an interesting bug. It's large, fearsome, armored. It's something that all of us as dwarves are very, very familiar with, whether you hunt them down in elimination missions or you instead come across them through your mining journeys. The Dreadnought hides some nefarious sides. Something, some things to think about here with the Dreadnought. Uh, we never see them when they hatch naturally, do we? We always pop the eggs. Just think about that for a second, and you'll realize that these are very much not as bad as it gets here on Hoxxes. Let's go ahead and read the description here. The Glyphid Dreadnought, the worst of the bunch, and arguably the worst thing Hoxxes has yet to throw at us. It's fast, smart, huge, and carries enough bioweapons to fight a small war. It sports several methods of attack, including firing actual fireballs at you, or sending cataclysmic shockwaves through the very ground you stand on. Has its abdomen exposed for heat dissipation, like much of its kind, but unlike the rest, this one has a tough outer shell that needs to be cracked before you can hit the weak innards. To make matters worse, it's capable of regenerating said shell within seconds. R&D's primary recommendation upon meeting a Dreadnought is simple: run. So that doesn't sound like they are... Well, let's just say it. These are children. These are babies. These are not even fully grown glyphids that are just in eggs. I've got something else to look at. In the last update, we unfortunately were exposed to 2 new Dreadnoughts that are in these eggs. And the Hive Guard itself definitely tells us a little bit more. If you read here, let's go ahead and read it together, shall we? The Dreadnought Hive Guard and its interrupted progression in the Dreadnought Metamorphosis. Currently, R&D is not in agreement on what the final form would be like, but everyone agrees that this is bad enough. Besides its own attack, Hive Guard is able to summon reinforcements to aid it in battle. And the rest of it's just talking about the Sentinels. But that beginning there, it's an interrupted progression in the Dreadnought Metamorphosis. So again, this is definitely not the final form we've seen of the Dreadnought. But this is a later stage of the Dreadnought's growth cycle inside of the egg. I mean, we can clearly see that there are some differences. The Hive Guard is significantly larger than the normal Dread, has a lot tougher armor, and it's just a lot scarier. Basically, the point of this video is to explain that these are babies, and that we should genuinely be thankful that this is all we have to deal with. However, it gets worse, because not only have we seen slightly later stages of development with the Hive Guard, we also see what happens when there's a mutation with the twins. On occasion, a Dreadnought will split in 2 during metamorphosis, and twins will develop side by side in the cocoon. All examples encountered so far have been interrupted transformation with armor that is not fully hardened. Just what would emerge from the cocoon if the process was permitted to finish is still unknown. And despite R&D's request for a controlled study, management would like to keep it that way. So here we have again. We have another example of there being a guaranteed later stage. We're interrupting their growth. And that's on purpose. Management knows, I guarantee it, that they know what else is there. Now, R&D, that's our branch, but we can't see what's later. Management, I 100% guarantee, knows, and just isn't sharing that information with us. I also have it under good authority that we know what comes after the hive guard in this metamorphosis process. What exactly would a dreadnought look like if it were to hatch? Well, if we look at some other glyphid growth, we can go ahead and point to another, I guess, mini-boss in this scenario. We'll look at its younger version, because we have an example of that in game. The Exploder. Now, I'm not going to cover the Exploder too much, but we all know what they do. They're little dudes that run around, they walk up to you, and they blow themselves up. So what's a bulk detonator? Well, let's go ahead and give it a read. Current theory is that the glyphid detonator is what happens when an exploder manages to not explode during its volatile and usually short life. So we already see what happens if we let just a normal tiny little exploder grow up a little bit. They become a giant monstrosity bulk detonator. So what happens if we let the dreadnought pupate for much longer? What happens if we let the hive guard sit around in the egg? What happens if the twins, after they've already split in the cocoon, they develop this armor? I don't know. And to be quite honest, I'm not sure if I want to know. Thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate you. It's good to be back. I look forward to some more content being uploaded here. I will see you in the next one. Oh yeah, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Alright, bye bye.